Hi everybody, it's Dr. Magnifico from jarrodsvillevet and I wanted to do a little video to discuss some of the cases that we are asked to help on and sometimes unfortunately can't assist with. So here at Jarrodsville Vet, we really pride ourselves on offering as many options to make something affordable for our clients and our patients so that the cost of care is never prohibitive for them. In veterinary medicine, there's a term called economic euthanasia. It's the term that we use when someone cannot afford the cost of care and elects euthanasia as a treatment option. It is not a term that we use here at Jarrodsville Vet. It is the antithesis of why I went to vet school. I really went to vet school to help people and their pets, and I want to continue to do that for my whole career, and I want the staff here at the clinic to be able to do so also. So we don't use that term. If someone comes in and needs something, we figure out a way to make it manageable for them. Sometimes there's a lot of negotiating involved. Sometimes there's some compromise involved. Sometimes we utilize some outside resources to help them. But we don't deny care. We do whatever we can to make it affordable. We do whatever we can to make it, accessible to people. And then we're very open and honest about what the compromises might be. So as always, everybody wants to practice the best care possible. So we all want to practice best medicine practices, and it's not always feasible. In some cases, it's cost prohibitive. Some accidents and illnesses can really very quickly mount up and cause the cost of care to become excessive for some people. A couple of common cases are pyometra, which is a uterine infection. That at the ERs can be $2,000 to $4,000. Here we try to manage it for about $800. Sometimes there's additional costs on top of that. We also see things like blocked cats. We see things like prolonged illness. So some of these guys need prolonged hospitalization, and it can very quickly reach $1,000 and sometimes even more. So we always try to talk about what we expect the cost of care to be. We always offer all sorts of options, and then we go from there and make it as affordable as possible. In some cases, we'll utilize our internal Good Samaritan Fund. So the Good Samaritan Fund is our internal compassion fund. We are very lucky in that a lot of people donate to it, and it's a very healthy, active fund. It really is specifically for our clients. So for those people who have heard about the use of the Good Samaritan Fund, we get people calling from other veterinary practices and other places in and around Maryland asking if we can help them through our Good Samaritan Fund. And unfortunately, it's just our internal fund. So it's the fund of money that we use when we're trying to bridge the gap between what someone can afford right now and what they need extra help with to get their animal to being happy and healthy again. There are some parameters around it. So to utilize the Good Samaritan Fund, we have to have staff members who are participating in it. So we ask them to volunteer their time, whether that's the doctors or the staff. So everybody puts a little skin in the game. It has to be an established client, so somebody that we know and we've seen before, somebody who is, in my opinion, the responsibility of Jarrodsville Vet already, and then it has to be a treatable case. So this has to be an animal that we are fairly certain we can get back to healthy and can go on to live a long, happy, normal life. So that's the parameters for the Good Samaritan Fund. We don't give it to people that we don't know, unfortunately. We could never take care of all the people who call and ask. For all the people that do call and ask for assistance, we offer them options too. Those options are going to include surrendering their pet to one of the rescues or shelters that we have a relationship with so that they can provide the care needed. In my opinion, if your animal is so sick that you can't afford to take care of them and you desperately want them to survive and flourish, then you should be prepared to surrender them to someone who can take care of them. Lots of people get upset by this, but it's really sometimes the only way that I can offer assistance. The rescues can do it at a cheaper cost. They can get discounts that otherwise clients can't get, and we can kind of negotiate in an outpatient care a little differently through the rescues. So that's something that we will offer to people and reach out to rescues to see if they're interested in. In some cases, we can get them the care that they need, and then they will go on to be adopted out to find another home. So we always offer that. We will offer reaching out on their behalf to the rescues and the foundations that we use to see if they've got some resources available. And then, we talk about kind of how to negotiate with your veterinarian to see if they can reduce the cost so that it makes it more affordable, or find you a low-cost clinic somewhere else that might be able to perform the service that is cost prohibitive for you elsewhere. So we will always offer help for people who need us or who are asking. If you go to our website, so jarrettsvillevet.com, we have a list of resources. So there's a resource page there that offers all the places that you can call, in my opinion. If you've got an animal or a pet that really needs help and you call and you're persistent, you can find it. I have learned that the people that keep asking and keep calling and keep looking for options find them, and we can find them affordably, either locally or without having to travel too far. So there are always options available. You have to be really determined, you have to be really dedicated, and you have to be persistent, and then keep calling. For everybody who is a Jarrettsville Vet client, I want to tell you that we are here for you and we will always be here for you. So if you need something, we will help figure out a way to find it affordably, so that we can get them the care that they need. My hope is that other veterinary clinics will offer the same thing. So if you are under the Jarrettsville Vet roof, you are our responsibility, and we will work with you however we need to get you the care that we need. Which is why I hope you will never see a Facebook post out there that says, my animal's currently being treated at Clinic X and I can't afford the care. Does anyone know where I can get it? We unfortunately get a lot of those phone calls where I know they are down the road, not too far, at another veterinary clinic, and they are not being given options that are affordable to them. That doesn't happen here. I won't let it happen here. We go to great lengths to make sure that it doesn't happen here. But if you are at another veterinary clinic and you find yourself in that predicament, go back to them and ask them why it's so cost prohibitive, how you can negotiate, how you can make it affordable, how you can figure out a way to bridge the gap between what you can afford and what they're asking you to pay, and go from there. I really feel like if we all work together and we all fight together, we can figure out a way to make almost everything affordable. There was a time in veterinary medicine where nobody had to do that. Nobody had to make a decision that was, I can't afford to do it, so therefore I'm considering euthanizing my pet. It really didn't matter what it was. There were very few things that we said there are no options. And in my opinion, there is nothing out there that doesn't have options. Even if it's a terminal illness, there is hospice and there is alternative care and there are options for you. You have to ask and you have to be persistent. For all of you who call us asking for help, if you are not a client, we cannot use the Good Samaritan Fund for you. We will help you in any way that we can. It means that you have to be prepared to make sacrifices. If that means giving up your pet that you cannot afford to take care of, in even the most basic ways. We get calls from people who have never gotten their animals vaccinated or spayed and neutered. It is difficult for me to have a conversation with you when you've never done anything for your pet to begin with, and now you're looking at $1,000 price tag and you're asking me to extend you a line of credit. I can't do it and I won't do it. Pawn something, come up with the money that you need, come back to us. If you want to come here, we're going to ask you to provide the $50 exam fee. So there's an initial $50 exam fee. You have to come up with that. If you cannot come up with that, I can't get you in the door. I can't start. I am happy to give you resources for people who might be able to help, but it's not going to be here at Jarrettsville Vet. After that, if your pet needs a surgery or a service, we're going to give you a deposit and we're going to ask you to come up with that deposit. If that means you have to go pawn your cell phone, go pawn your cell phone. If it means that you have to ask family and friends for a loan, go ask them. Please don't come to me, and it's very difficult to come to anybody else and say, I have nothing and I need $1,000. We can't afford to keep our lights on and pay our staff. I will do everything I can to help you, but getting angry at us or getting angry at anybody else because you expect something for free, because you love your pet, is a difficult place to start. Start with, here's what I'm willing to do and here's what I can do, and then negotiate from there. It's always better to come to a resolution when there's compromise involved, and that's sometimes what it takes. If you have any questions about the Good Samaritan Fund, about pro bono work, about finding answers to your pet's needs that you think you can't afford, or even economic euthanasia, you can ask me at probably.com. If you are a Jarrettsville Vet client and you need something, we will help you for the rest of your pet's life. That is my personal promise to you. And for everybody else out there, talk to your veterinarian before you get in an extremis situation and ask them what you can do and what will happen if you find yourself facing a very expensive pet care need and you can't come up with it right away. It's better to talk about it beforehand than find yourself in a terrible situation and be given an option of economic euthanasia. Take care, everybody. I wish you well. Bye.